Hello, so I just want to do this video before more time goes on and I actually don't do the video and this be the year that I skip it, because I've been doing it for the past like 4 or 5 years, which is like reviewing my past year and then talking about what I'm hopeful for the following year. And I just like watching them, and like, you know, it kind of makes me feel like there's some track, I don't know. Anyways, and usually I do them in December, the latest the first week of January. But now it's about to be March and it's like, okay, let's do it now. So 2020, it's a blur. I don't remember it. I don't know her. That somebody just like did that and like erased my memory. But the only reason that I'm able to kind of have some memories, okay, I did that, okay, that happened, is because of the pictures that I took, videos that I took, like Instagram posts, TikToks, or just videos that I recorded on my own, or pictures. For example, like one right now that especially I have like, I feel like my memory is like on 0 during the summer. And the only reason that I kind of, if I like think about like pictures, the first picture that comes up is the picture that I have with Oliver outside, and my hair had been freshly painted. And then obviously I have the pictures of when we went to Sunflower Festival. I mean, now I'm thinking about it, and then like the TikToks that I made, like for example with the one with the Chucky. So then it's like, oh, okay, and it feels like it's in some way comforting, you know, like when I think about this. That's why I like taking pictures and videos, because in some way it's like, oh look, you know, I did that. Like it's not so bad in my head where I don't remember anything, because I used to like, I mean, I still kind of have bad memory, and I think that's why I'm like kind of hold on to like stuff so to remember, because I don't want to forget, because I feel like forgetting, memory loss, that shit's scary. Anyways. The whole fucking year it feels like a fucking blur. Like I don't even remember really. Like I have to kind of like, I feel like squint and be like, and I feel like I'm still stuck in March, and I can't believe like literally like next week is gonna be March again. So there's a whole like gap there, like a year. And so let's start reflecting on our year, 2020 year. At the beginning of the year I was very happy that I was gonna graduate. Like I just couldn't believe it. I was starting to have anxiety because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna get my bachelor's, there's gonna be a lot of people. I had a lot of anxiety when I graduated high school, because during that time it was getting really hard for me to walk. So my anxiety back then was like, what if I fall? How am I gonna get there? Because people had to like get on the stage and there were stairs, and it was a whole other type of anxiety. And this, when 2020 started, I don't know, I just started feeling like embarrassed in some type of way. Usually I'm not like, I feel like I'm kind of good now with my scooter and all of this, but I guess like my anxiety was like, oh, you know, how, you know, yeah, accessibility, and then like, I don't know, just maybe I guess being like the only person that was gonna be like on my scooter. I mean, maybe obviously not, but I was just kind of like, you know, getting a little bit of anxiety about that, and there being a lot of people, and but at the same time like excited and just like and just trying to do my own thing, like going, you know, doing school. But also 2020 was also, on top of all of that, was like really hard for me because I was having really bad relationship problems. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but I could say pretty much I spent the whole year crying because of that. And anyways, so it was really hard to like concentrate in school when you feel like so shitty. So on top of feeling shitty, having like someone that just makes you feel like they don't care, and and having to go through all of it alone. But nonetheless, I tried to, you know, keep pushing with school. And then the quarantine started, and I didn't go out at all. I only went out 3 times. I remember specifically all of this. And sometimes I'm like, damn, like, yeah, I have kind of like really good memory, but at the same time I'm like, I have really bad memory. But anyways, I remember stuff that is just kind of like, why would you remember? Okay, anyways, I think the last day that I went to school was on a Tuesday, I think, because I remember that right before we went to quarantine, I hanged out with Marco and my other friend that lives in Washington, Sylvia, on the same day. I used to like go to class, and then I had like a 3-hour window or 4-hour window where I would then go eat tacos with my friend. and he would meet me in downtown, and then we would go and eat tacos. So I remember we went to eat tacos. By that time, the person was not like there, because our favorite taco place was right in front of this thrift store, but then he moved kind of like behind, next to the thrift store. So during that time, he was barely kind of like, you know, like fixing things. I think he said he didn't have connected the electrical wires, I don't know. So we went, he wasn't there because obviously, you know, things were not like working, running. And then we had to go to this, like, because there's like a lot of like carts there nearby. So then we went to this other place and we ate tacos there. And actually, this was the day also, now thinking about it, yeah, okay, and also the reason I remember this is because I took a picture of Marco, and this is how I tie it up in my brain. I took a picture of Marco, and it was sunny, but it was cold, and he's like this. And that's the whole reason that I remember what tacos we were eating, where he was. And now I'm thinking, okay, why were we there? Okay, so our favorite taco place was not there. So then we went to this other taco place that we had gone before, and it was really good. When we first went, the guy was like really nice. You know, he was like, you know, I feel like, you know, polite and being friendly. And he was like, oh, the people are so nice here. The tacos are really good too. Nothing like our favorite taco place, but you know, they're good. And then they gave us chips. We were outside. So then we were like, okay, let's go to that place because that place is a good place. So then we went there. But the first time we went, there was 2 guys. And now when we went that day, there was a lady, and then she was the one, like, you know, talking to the customers, and then there was a guy in the back making the tacos. Nobody's there. We get there, we're like looking at the menu, and she looks just like not friendly. They're Mexican, and just don't. And the lady, well, I don't know about the guy. The guy is obviously in the back making the tacos. The lady is just like, does not look friendly. And then Marco get by clothes, and I get we're together. I mean, Marco and I were together. The lady asked him what he's gonna order, something like that. Go tells him, oh, you know, I want this and I want that. And then she's like, oh, okay. And then she turns around, and I'm like, okay, you know, she's gonna ask me any minute. She's gonna come back and ask me any minute. She didn't. And she saw me, like, it seemed like, I don't know, whatever she turned around, she saw me, and she didn't say anything. I was like right there, like, then I moved like right in front of her window, and then I remember she made eye contact with me, and then she just kind of like turned around and she didn't say anything. And I was like, okay, maybe she's helping making the tacos for Marco, and then she's gonna ask me later. So I don't want to be like, you know, I don't want to be rude and be like, okay, you know, like atiéndame ahora, you know, kind of like, oh, talk to me. So I'm gonna be patient and talk to her. So I'm not like really thinking anything about it. I'm just like, oh, you know, like, because I'm really awkward in person, like I'm really like shy. Probably like 5 minutes pass by, she doesn't say anything, and she's just like, and then she just turns around and she just is like in the back, even though I'm like right there. And I'm like, what the fuck? I probably was there, not even kidding, like 10-15 minutes, like right there. She didn't even ask me like, are you gonna order anything? She just was like, you know, probably like in the first few minutes where I was like, oh, I don't know what's kind of happening. She was there, but she was like not giving her back, but like giving her side profile. And I don't know what she was doing. It looked like maybe she was helping with doing the tacos. And then they gave out the tacos to my friend, and again, she didn't say anything. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then I just knew like she was not gonna like say anything. And at that point I just felt embarrassed, because at the point where I was like, where it kind of clicked in my brain, like, oh, I think she's ignoring me, like she's not like gonna ask me anything. And then she just seemed so like annoyed, like, I don't know, like just giving this weird vibe. And when it clicked and was like, oh, I think she's purposely like ignoring me, she probably doesn't want to, like, I don't know. So then I'm like, okay, by that time it had been like probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, more than 10 minutes. I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna order here, like I'm not gonna order here. Then I went and sat with Marco, and he ate his tacos, and he was like, oh, I feel bad. And he was also like laughing about it, and I was so pissed. And then we went to this other taco truck, which was like Texas barbecue. It was like I think they were like white people, and I ordered some tacos there and I didn't really like them, and then we were just like eating there. Yeah, and then that's where I took the picture of him, and that's why I remember this. And then after this, I went to class. I had class for probably a couple hours, and then my friend was in Portland, so she was like, let's go have dinner. So then after that class, I went and had dinner with her. And also I remember taking the pictures. I remember taking like the pictures that I took of her while we were there. We went to this, like, I don't remember, it was like, I just know it was an Asian place. It was really pretty inside. Then I went home, and then the next day, Wednesday, I don't think I had class. And then that's when we got the email that Thursday, Friday, everything was going to be canceled. So then I had a presentation on Friday. I was like, yes, like I don't have to do the presentation. And I think the following Monday, I went to the library, and I remember feeling like bad because like I'm like, oh my god, we're in quarantine, we're not supposed to go out, and like, but I'm like, well, I have to do this homework. And then like there's just like a Home Goods next to it and a Biology, and I went to like eat there, pizza. And I remember feeling so guilty, and then I never went out. So this was like March, and then I think for the first time I went out like in July. Oh well, actually I went out a couple times in June because we went to protest. So I feel like that didn't make me feel guilty about the pandemic. And then in July I went out to tacos, and then I felt guilty there too. But at that time it's like, man, I have not gone anywhere. So obviously, you know, taking mask and everything. And then I went out again. I don't know, when was it? Probably the following week. And then I got back with my ex. So then I went to see him in Vegas in November. I felt a little guilty there, but at the same time it's like I'm trying to take all the precautions also. I know probably it's not good enough because at the end of the day maybe you shouldn't be going out at all. At the beginning of the year I didn't have any idea that we were gonna buy a house. I mean, I was thinking like we're gonna move, but we're gonna move up apartments, and then I don't know, just things move so fast, and now we own a house. And there's no way for me really to get out, so unless someone carries me or helps me out. So yeah, I have not gone out like at all, pretty much on my own since we moved in here, which has been December. Other than, you know, then I went to Vegas again in January. That's been it. And I think since I've been living here, I've only gone like twice to the grocery store. The other times I've ordered to get my food delivered, or for it to be picked up, and then I just told my parents to pick it up. Oh, actually I went to the park. Wow, I was so excited. I went to the park. Yeah, probably like a month ago actually. Other than that, no. And then it's just the whole year was a fucking blur. I don't really remember stuff. I had everything planned that I was gonna graduate, you know, like everyone else in the late spring, and then when the school canceled it, I was really upset because I really genuinely thought everything was gonna blow off by the fall, and obviously that didn't happen, and boy was I wrong about that. And that's why I kind of feel weird about, you know, the video that I made. I feel like I sound bratty, but obviously I feel like at that time no one knew that this was gonna take this long. So I knew I was gonna graduate in the late spring, and then I was like, well, I'm just gonna take some summer classes because, you know, the last like class or couple classes I was gonna need. But like I said, especially like May, the rest of the year I pretty much spent it crying. And that was really hard to like focus in school, and I failed 1 class, 2 classes, I don't know, but I just remember it was so hard. It was like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, what the fuck? Like, especially like I am a person that I mostly learn from like being in person and like listening to the teacher, like lectures, and you know, top of what I was going through. Online classes is just like not a thing for me, and so that was hard too. So I had to extend it and take fall classes. But nonetheless, I graduated. I got my diploma already. So yours truly has a bachelor's in psychology and minor in business administration and a minor in sociology, which I don't know, because my diploma is only about my psychology major. So I don't know, like, how do I show proof that I have those other, okay. Anyway, okay, I'll figure that out later. You know, I feel like since like a few years ago, I've been kind of like suppressing like any feelings, thoughts that I've had of wanting to do. Like, for example, there was a period where I was really like, I want to look for a job, like, because I want to have money. I want to have more than what I get monthly. I want to have more money so I can travel. I would waste time, so much time on looking for places. Then I would like kind of get set on a place, look for flights, look for hotels, then would look for vlogs, what you do in those places. One time I was really close to booking a ticket for Australia because it was like really cheap at that time. And then I'm like, no, like I had to like suppress those feelings and be like, no, I have to focus in school. And then there was also periods where I was like, I really want to move out of here. I don't want to live here anymore. So I need to get a job so I can move out. Again, suppress those feelings. So you have to like graduate school. And now that I'm like done, in some way kind of feels like, okay, so now what? But then it's kind of like, if I want to have like my loans forgiven and then other debt, I have to actually not work to have those things, one paid off and one forgiven. That sounds confusing for me to not work, but that's how those things work. Okay, so what I'm hopeful for 2020. I just want to get out of my house. Like, I just want to be able to like get out of my house like on my own. So I wish I get a ramp. Wow, I am setting the bar really low here for 2021, getting a ramp. I emailed this nonprofit and I don't know, I just felt like the lady that responded to my email, she sounded very like she lacked customer service skills. Because so I emailed her if they like help people get ramps, and then she was like, yeah. And then I asked her like, what do you need? And then I was like, and then she was like, oh, you need to like have permission or own the house, and I think that was it. Oh, and you need to be within our area. So I was like, oh, okay. You know, I replied and I introduced myself, because the first email I was just kind of asking, do you guys do it? Because I didn't want to like write so much and for them to just reply, oh, we don't do that here, we don't help with that. So then I kind of introduced myself and explained my whole situation. Then I was like, you know, I live here, like I do live within your area, I live with my parents, and you know, we live in a house, so like it's fine. And her only response was like, but do your parents own or rent the house, something like that. And I replied with like, oh, she sent that like in the morning, like at 6 in the morning, I think. No, yeah, because my reply was like early in the morning, like at 6 in the morning, and she replied probably like 30 minutes later. Replied with like, do your parents like own it or rent it? And then that was her only response to my whole like thing that I wrote her. And then I was like, yeah, we own the house. After that, she didn't reply. And that was last Thursday, and today is Sunday. So you might think this last Thursday, no, this past Thursday was a week. So now we're going on to like the second week. I don't know, it just made me feel like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I'm just that type of person that just always kind of feels like people are like weird, like I don't know. I feel like at the same time it's not so like weird to think that other people are like weird, so, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just hopeful that, you know, maybe I called them actually, and it goes to her phone number, so it's a lady, and she didn't answer. I called her like twice, so I'm gonna call again tomorrow, Monday, and see what happens there. And yeah, this is a time where I wish I had like people in my life that like were Bob the Builders. That's what I hope for. Hope for to have a ramp so I can get out and I can go to places. But then again, it's kind of like there's no buses nearby, so where exactly am I gonna go? I'll just be happy with like walking all over around the neighborhood, because it gets exhausting to be like home all day, like not go out at all. Like my mental health is declining. I remember like for a few years I always used to say, like, not always, but you know, there was a few years that I would say, and I remember like wanting like, you know, friends, like being like, oh, I want more friends in my life, like all of this and all that. And I don't know what point like I kind of switched, and I was like, why would I say that? Like I remember watching that and being like, why would I say that? Like that's so dumb. Like I don't need friends, like what the fuck? Because I was so okay with myself, you know. I was like, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting friends, but I don't know why I was kind of shaming my past self of like wanting friends. I feel like I said like last year, or probably the last couple of years, I feel like that kind of transition into like I want friends to like I want actually some, like I want people in my life that actually care, you know, like that actually are genuine. And I don't know, like I said, I kind of switched to like finding someone. Whoa. It's funny because I always used to like be like, oh, I wish I had friends so we could go out and have fun, so I could go out and eat with them and like, I don't know, do fun things, go to like festivals. A time where I was kind of obsessed with like those type of festivals that have rides and games, like, oh, you know, so we can go to like those type of like festivals, we can travel and do, you know, stuff like that. So in some way it's kind of weird like that transition to like, oh, I wish I had friends to do that, to like, oh, I wish I had someone to do that, I wish I had found, you know. And it's weird because like I used to like never really care about these things, but I don't know if like if it has to do just with me hurting with this relationship and being like, oh, I just wish, you know. But I don't know. Anyways, but I don't really have much expectations for 2021 because I think I'm just hopeful that all of this like COVID-19 like just goes away and we go back to our semi-normal life. Also, I just kind of want to enjoy the year, like not really doing much. And by that I just mean like not like obviously going to work or school stuff, more like, okay, I want to focus more on myself, starting hobbies that I used to do before, like painting, drawing, even like learn things. I know I said like not school, but like learn things maybe online. One thing that I've kind of been like, that would be nice to know would be like coding, or like knowing how to like, you know, do websites and knowing how to like do apps, that type of stuff. Also maybe like learning also how to better edit videos and all of that. Focus on those like little type of things, you know, like hobbies. That's what I mean on myself, and not like really doing anything that requires me like work, you know. After that, maybe for the following year, then I would want to like start doing like volunteer work, or maybe even like this year. So maybe even this year I would want to actually do some volunteer work. I've actually been looking through some things, but like at the same time like telling myself like, no, let's just, you know, let's just not jump into those things, because then you're gonna feel stressed about things. And like I feel like I still need to like organize fully my my room, because I haven't done that. I mean, even though we've been living here for like 2 months now, almost 3 months actually, but it's just, there's just a lot of like, you know, I have to buy things, like little things here and there, and like sometimes it's overwhelming, like where do you even start, like how do you even organize stuff. But you know, I feel like I'm getting there. I'm trying to buy a rug, so once I get that rug I can move my bed and actually fix my bed. It's gonna be a work in progress, so I mean that can be a goal too, like for this year, to like just have my room fully organized, bathroom and all of that, and have the ramp and be able to like go out, go to the park, walk all over, find some ways to get myself to Portland, because I fucking miss Portland. I miss being able to just like get on the bus, because where we used to live, the bus was literally just like in front of my apartment, and now I think the nearest bus here is like 10 minutes away, but then that bus goes somewhere else where I'm not interested in going. And the bus that takes you to Portland is like 30 minutes away. I think it's actually 10 minutes if you go in the car, but if you go, if I went probably with my scooter, probably be like 20 minutes away maybe. And then also there's some places that there's no pavement, so yeah, that's something here that I wouldn't want to risk. Usually I think if I was like in Tualatin or somewhere else, I would be like, yeah, you know, I'll just find my way around, you know, because I'll be like, yeah, I would go with the expectation that there's pavement everywhere, there's sidewalks everywhere. But here I don't have the same expectations. It's two, let's just say it's two completely different towns, so I wouldn't risk it here. I just wanted it to be like, I just want to feel better, like internally, do better for myself and my surroundings, meaning like organization and having everything, you know, better organized, clean in my room, life too, and just, you know, like I've always said, I just want to be happy at the end of the day. I just want to feel comfortable, secure, and like I have people that actually care in my life, as opposed to like just people that are like whatever about things, or that don't really like have any depth. Maybe those are the things that you kind of start thinking about once you get older, that you want like actual, you want real people, you want real people in your life, real people, not superficial people. I'm trying to think if I missed anything that I would want to mention here. I'm like intrigued. What's it gonna be like this next year? Like, what am I gonna think what happened in 2021? Because like I feel like no one thought about anything remotely close to 2020, and now I'm here. I'm like, damn, if I would have known back then when I was making those, like, anyways. But yeah, I just want to be happy. I want to do better. I want to, like, I don't know, just now that I have like the time and the relaxation in my brain, and I'm, you know, being stressed about like, oh my god, I have to do this, I have to do this, because if I don't do it, I'm a failure, and I've been doing this for so long, and like, I need to graduate, and like, oh my god, I'm so old, I have to do it like now, I cannot be like, you know, making it longer. now that's a way. You did it, Celia. We put aside traveling, we put aside moving now, we put aside having a job so you could graduate college. Now you did it. So now I'm like, calm, organize stuff, do little hobbies here and there, have fun, and, you know, be happy. And we'll figure out what we're gonna do later in the year or next year.